Boys and girls, welcome to the Decimal Review. Without further ado, let's begin. What fraction of the shape has been colored? Write the fraction and its equivalent decimal. What I'm going to do, I'm going to count the amount that's shaded. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Boys and girls, welcome to the Decimal Review. Let's jump into this. Here is the first slide, and the question says, what fraction of the shape has been colored? Write the fraction and its equivalent decimal. All right, so the first thing I like to do is I sort of like to take a couple of notes. All right, so it's asking me what fraction of the shape has been colored, so I'm going to look right here, and I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I know that 5, and then 5 has been shaded. So right down here, I'm going to write my 5 because the numerator, or the number at the top, is how many you have. Now what I like to do next is see that looks like there are 1, 2 rows and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 columns. So 5 times 2 is 10. Or you can simply count every single box at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Remember that your denominator, the number at the bottom, needs to be your total amount. So our numerator is 5 and our denominator is 10. Another way to look at this is just like this, 5/10. You can see that 5/10 is half of a whole. It's the same thing here. It's half of this whole. So when you're thinking, how do I convert this fraction into a decimal? Look at the numerator and ask how many do you have compared to the total at the bottom, the denominator. I know that 5 is half of 10. So when I'm writing my decimal point, I'm going to start with 0 because I don't have a full whole. And I put the decimal point here. 5 is half of 10. That means it was 0.5 because that represents a half. And then the answer is shown like this, so 0.5. That is the first question. And let's move on to question number 2. Looks like this. What fraction of the shape has been colored? Write the fraction and its equivalent decimal. All right, so same question, different visual here. So I see that one piece of the whole is shaded. So what I'm going to do here is I am going to write how much I have right at the top. That's 1. And after that, you have to count how many individual slices there are all together. So let's count. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I have one slice, sort of looks like something like pie or pizza. I'm going to call it pizza. I've got one slice of pizza out of a total of 10. Another way to look at this looks like this right here. This is 1/10. And so if I'm converting 1/10 of a fraction to a decimal, what I'm going to do is make sure that I start with 0 because I don't have a whole. And I write this point right here. And I need 1 here because that represents 1/10. If you did that too, great job. Right. What is the value of the underlined digit? So what I like to do is I sort of like to make sure what I know is underlined is this digit right here. So I see that it is one place to the right of the decimal. And so I know that is 6/10 in word form. Another way to write it, so this right here, this is word form. Another way to write it is 0.6, but we still say 6/10. Next, what is the value of the underlined digit? So again, the same question. What I like to do is I like to circle the number that's being underlined and I count how many spaces to the right of the decimal place is it. So this is 1 and this is 2. Now, if we know that one space to the right of the decimal is the tenths, then two spaces to the right of the decimal is what? If you said the hundredths, you're right. So the value of the underlined digit 9 is 9 hundredths, or 0.09. Again, don't make the mistake of not including this 0 right here, because when we have 0.09, it shows that you have 9 out of 100. And that's exactly what is shown at our original problem. Next, order these decimals from smallest to largest. Excuse me. So I'm looking at these decimals, and what I see that sort of makes it super easy is that all of them have a whole number. So this whole number is 3, this whole number is 1, this whole number is 0, and this whole number is 2. So without even looking at the decimal point, I can simply order them in increasing order from smallest to largest by simply looking at the whole numbers, and it will look like 0.38 is the smallest, and then 1.283, 2.704, and 3.432. Write the number in expanded form, 12.71. Remember, expanded means stretch it out, okay? So stretch out 12.71. I'm gonna get my drawing tool here, and the first thing that you wanna do is you wanna focus on the first number. So when you do that in expanded form, what is the value of this one? The value is 10, right? And then what you do is you focus on the next number, which is 2. And when you write that, you've got 10 plus 2, and then you look at the next number, which is 0.7 or 0.70. And then finally, you look at the very last number, which is 0.01. Now, boys and girls, remember and make sure that you are aware that between each of the numbers, when you are writing a decimal in expanded form, is that you have to include this addition sign, okay? Another thing that I really like to do, and another strategy that I tell my students, is count how many digits there are in the number altogether. So here's 1, here's 2, here's 3, and here's 4. So there are 4 total numbers, which means that you're going to need 4 total numbers in your addition problem when you write your expanded form. So here's 1, here's 2, here's the 3rd number, and here is the 4th number. All right, so if there are 4 numbers all together here, make sure that there are 4 numbers all together in your expanded form. Let's move on. Write the number in expanded form again. All right, so we need my drawing tool, and this time we don't have a whole number, so we know the whole number is 0. So the number that we have is 0.213. So we're going to be first looking at the first number, which is in the 10th position, right? So you write that first, which looks like 0.2 or 0.200. And then what you do is you look at the next number, which is this 1 in the hundredths place value. So you're going to write your addition sign. And then you include the value of this number 1, which is 0.01. Do not forget the 0 before the 1. And at the very end, again, you look at the last number. You ask yourself, what is the value of this number? So it will be 0.003. You put an addition sign before it. And then you have the total, which looks something like this. All right, so the directions say use greater than, less than, or equal to compare the numbers. I'm going to read the 2 numbers out loud that I have. The first one is 27 hundredths, or 27 over 100. The second one is 27 hundredths, or 0.27. Boys and girls, the first thing that I suggest for you to do, to not get anything mixed up and just like do it in your head, I believe that it helps if you write out what 27 over 100 is in a decimal form, and I know that is 0.27. Remember, if I'm dealing with hundredths, there are two place values. Likewise, I take this number that's already in decimal and I convert it to a fraction, and I know that the fraction of 0.27 is simply 27 over 100. And so what I notice here is, oh my goodness, they are actually equal to, all right? Next, again, use greater than, less than, or equal to compare the two numbers. I'm gonna do something different in this case because this time I have two different decimals. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my drawing tool, and what I like to look at first is what comes before the decimal, which is our whole number. And what I see, similarly, they both have a whole number of 14. So that means that I have to go from the whole number to the decimal point. Now, what I have after the decimal point in this one is 21. So that means I have 21 out of 100. In this one, I have 12 out of 100. So I know that 21 is bigger or greater than 12. So your answer will look like this. 14.21 is greater than 14.12. It says, write as a decimal, 53 and 500ths. Now, boys and girls, I want to teach you that when you see that the instructions say to write as a decimal, and you also see this word and right here, what this word and means is a decimal. So if you read and, know that you will have a decimal. So I have 53, so I'm going to write that. So let me change the color to blue. So I know that I have 53, and that came from right here. Now, once you see the word and, that's when you put a decimal. You have 53 and 500ths. Now, what I really like to do when I write decimal points is I like to know how many places I'm going to need to put in. So I like to write in the underline. I'm going to put 2 underlines because it says hundredths, okay? So in order to have 500ths, it's 5 out of 100, so that's pretty small. I can't forget this 0 right here. And again, I've typed out the answer. The answer looks like this, 53.05. That is 53 and 500ths. Next, right here, it says write the decimal 1 3/10. Again, I notice a couple of things. The first thing that I notice being the instructions, write as a decimal. The second thing that I notice is this and right here, which to me means or signifies decimal point. So I've got 1 and 3/10. Now remember, if I have tenths, how many numbers am I going to have to the right of the decimal? I like to put the underline, and I just kind of fill in my own underline. All right, so I have 3/10. 1 3/10 is 1.3. Again, I have it written down, 1.3. There it is. Let's go on to the next question. Write as a fraction 2.37, 2.37. Now, if you have a whole number right in front, that means that you are going to need to write a whole number, like a mixed number. So we have a big 2 right here, and 37 will be written smaller, and then you put that over 100. Remember, if there are 2 places to the right of the decimal, that means it's in the hundredths place. So your answer will look like that. All right, so this question says write as a decimal, but they give me a fraction, 1 1400ths. So I have to write a decimal. So I know that it is going to be 1, because that's my whole number, point. Now, if I'm dealing with hundredths, again, I sort of like this underline method. That means I know that there are going to be 2 numbers that I need to put in, and we have 2 numbers right here, so I simply transfer those down. 1 1400ths looks just like that. Again, I have typed it out in the answer. Typed out is 1 1.14 or 1 and 14 hundredths. Next question, write as a decimal 55 and 9 tenths. All right, I'm going to get my writing tool out again. I have 55. That's what I'm going to start out with because that is my whole number. I have 55 whole things. I'm going to write this decimal point, and I have 9 out of 10 things. So I almost have the whole thing, but I don't. I have 55.9 of the things. So 55 and 9 tenths looks like that, or typed out looks like this. All right, everyone. So the directions state write as a decimal 3/20. Now, normally we work with denominators that are 100, but this time we have sort of something special and different. We have 3/20. So in order to really see this fraction, what I recommend for you to do is use a piece of grid paper, like such as the one that you might have in your math notebook, and shade what you have for 3/20. So if you have a look, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and there are 2 rows. So we have a total of 20. That's why I'm showing you, because we have a total of 20 for 3/20. And I like to shade these in. So I'm going to shade this, and I'm going to shade that, and one more. I've shaded 3 out of 20. And what I recommend for you to do when you convert a fraction to a decimal that isn't currently 100, as you can see, as we have right here, we don't have 100, we have 20. So what I recommend for you to do is draw an equal sign. Okay, I'm going to use another color. Create a new fraction with a denominator of 100. So we have 100 right here. And then ask yourself, how would you go from the denominator of our first problem, which is 20, to the denominator of our equivalent fraction, which is 100? And I know that to go from 20 to 100 using multiplication, we multiply by 5, because 20 times 5 is 100. Now, boys and girls, whatever you do to the bottom, you have to do to the top. So I'm going to draw an arrow here. And what we're looking for is we're looking to fill in the numerator from this problem right here. And if we times or multiplied by 5 on the bottom, we have to times or multiply by 5 on the top. So 3 times 5, that I know gives us 15. And again, in order to really check and just sort of visualize better what you can do, and what I recommend is using your math notebook or another piece of grid paper to find 100 grid, because we have 100, and then you can select or draw through 15 of the 100, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and as you will notice, 3/20 is the same thing as 15/100. Now, we aren't finished because the directions ask us to write as a decimal. So this is just the first step, and what you have to do next is you take what we have, this 15/100, and you make it into a decimal. What is the decimal of 15/100? I know we don't have one whole yet, so it's going to be 0.15. And so our answer is 0.15. So the decimal of 3/20, again, is 0.15. All right, let's do another example problem. I'm going to clear my drawings right here. Let's move on. This time, I did not use the grid paper. We're only going to be using the numbers, but if it helped you use the grid paper, please continue to do so. All right, so I'm going to take my drawing tool. I'm going to write what we have. What we have is 4/5. Remind myself what I have to do here. I have to write an equivalent fraction with the denominator of 100 so that I can easily look at the fraction and convert the fraction to a decimal, because that's what the question is really asking us to do. So what I need to do, and what I'm really looking for, is the numerator of this, blank over 100. So I have 4 over 5, and I'm just looking at the denominators right now. So I have to ask myself, how might I use multiplication to go from 5 to 100? I know that 5 times 20 is 100. And so whatever we do to the bottom, we also have to do to the top. And 4 times 20 is, anyone have a strategy to make this more simple in your head? Because I do. And what I recommend for you to do is you don't do 4 times 20 in your head unless you can. But one way that you can do is you can split the number up a little bit. So you can take this 2, multiply by this 4, and I know 4 times 2 is 8, and then you just drag and drop the 0 right here. And then I have to ask myself, well, what is 80 over 100 in decimal form? Because again, that's the question that needs to be answered. So 80 over 100 is 0 because we don't have a whole. Put my decimal point right here. And you can either write 0.8 and you're done, or 0.80, both are the same. So the answer to writing a decimal for 4 over 5 is 0.8 or 0.80, both are the same. All right, so these directions state, use the table below to help answer the questions from the following slides. So what I like to do is I sort of just like to read what we have going on here. Looks like this is a menu. Now hot dogs, $1.28, hamburgers, $2.19, a Coke is $1.25, milkshake is $2.42, order of fries is $1.13, a deluxe hamburger is $3.91. That's interesting. Deluxe hamburger is quite a bit more expensive than just a hamburger. Okay. Ice cream is $1.62 and a taco is $2.39. So knowing this information, let's look at the questions that we need to answer. This looks like a pretty long one. Alexa had $10, okay? She bought a deluxe cheeseburger, an order of fries, and a milkshake. Wow, she must be hungry. If she paid with her $10 bill, how much change did she get back? So boys and girls, this is called a multi-step problem. And what you have to do first is, I sort of like to underline some of the information that I know. So Alexa, she's got $10. And then I like to underline what she ordered. She ordered a deluxe cheeseburger. So the first thing that I'm going to do is think, how much was the deluxe cheeseburger? And then an order of fries, and then a milkshake. So deluxe cheeseburger, order of fries, and a milkshake. Let's go back. All right, so deluxe, I'm gonna write this on a different piece of paper while I'm here. Deluxe cheeseburger is $3.91, and order of fries is $1.13, and then what was it, a milkshake? That's right, a milkshake is $2.42. So what I need to do is write all of these down. All right. So Alexa's double cheeseburger, I'm gonna start down here, cost $3.91. The order of fries was $1.13. Notice how I'm aligning up the decimal places, the dollars and the cents. And the milkshake cost $2.42. Now, because these are things that she's sort of stacking onto her order, I know that it's an addition problem. So now I have to do this. And I do, first, I start all the way to the right. I do 1 plus 3, which is 4, 4 plus 2, which is 6, and I put 6 right at the bottom. Then I do 9 plus 1, that's 10, and 10 plus 4, that's 14. So I'm gonna put 4 right here, and I'm gonna carry the 1 over here. Now, boys and girls, do not forget that you have these decimal places, and those just sink down right below. Next, I have 1 plus 3, which is 4, and 4 plus 1, which is 5, and 5 plus 2, which is 7. Now, if you're working with a story problem, do not forget to label. The label here is a $sign. So her total order, and remember, not only write the $sign, also write what it really is. So this is the total, okay? That's what she owes. Now, what she has is a different number. What she has is $10. Now, students, when you write $10, I know you can write $10 like this, but when you're doing math problem, include the 00, which accounts for the cents so that it helps you line everything up. Now, this is going to be the amount that she ordered down below. Let me write that in the same color. The amount that she ordered ended up equaling to $7.46. Okay, so draw your line right here. Now you have to ask yourself, this $7.46 is how much she owes, and the $10 is how much she has. So you know this is a subtraction problem. Now, you're sort of left with this issue, like you know you can take $10 minus something smaller, but how do you do this when it was 0 and 6? So what I do is I make this 0 a 10, and I took that from this 0, which needed to become a 9. Okay, so I do 10 minus 6, which is 4 right here, and then I do 9 minus 4, which is 5 right here. We aren't finished borrowing, bring down the decimal place, the decimal point right here, because we got the 9 from this 0 right here, so that 0 also becomes another 9. Okay, and then you take 9 minus 7. 9 minus 7 is 2. And do not forget to cross this 1 out. We took the 9 from getting 1 from the 1, so we have a 0 right here. And the question asks, let's see here, let me change colors, brown. All right, the question asks, how much change did Alexa get back? So if she gave 10 and her total bill was $7.46, she should be given back this amount of $2.54. Is that what you got? All right, so we have this problem. The first thing I like to do is read it and then start marking some information. So we have Faith, Andre, Gaia, Zoe, Roman, and Emily went to the Presidio for a picnic. Nice. Faith, Roman, and Zoe each bought a hot dog and a Coke. Okay. Gaia, Emily, and Andre each bought a taco and an ice cream. Okay. How much money did they spend all together? Now, it's really important to really understand what the question is asking. So the question is asking, how much money did they spend all together? So it looks like this question has been sort of broken up into two different areas. That's what I noticed. It looks like these three people all bought the same thing. And then it also looks like these three people also bought the same thing, but it's different from the first group. So I'm going to have two groups. So these three people each bought, let's see here, a hot dog. So make sure that you do some notes and underline some stuff when you read word problems. Bought a hot dog and a Coke. So what I need to first do is go back to see how much a hot dog and a Coke is. So let me go back to all the way. I have a hot dog. I'm going to write this down on my paper. I have a hot dog for $1.28 and I have a Coke for $1.25. So let's keep going. Here we go. Already have seen this. All right, so here we are. The first group bought a hot dog and a Coke, and the price of those, I'm gonna maybe write it right over here, is for the hot dog was $1.28, and the Coke was $1.25. And what I need to do first is add up what this order costs for one person. So think to yourself, what is 8 plus 5? That is 13. So you're going to put the 1 up here, and you're going to put the 3 right here. Next, you do 1 plus 2, that's 3. 3 plus 2, that's 5. Carry the 5 down below the bar. Carry the decimal points down below here. 1 plus 1 is 2. Now stick with this because we're not finished. We're going to switch to a different color. And it says that these 3 people bought this one order. This one order cost $2.53. So what I have to do here is I have to take this one order, multiply it by 3 for 3 people. Here we go. And 3 times 3, that's 9. 3 times 5, that's 15. I'm going to put the 1 up here. I'm going to carry the 5 down below. Again, do not forget about your decimal point. The decimal point goes there. 3 times 2, that's 6, plus 1, that's 7. All right, so I have this order for Faze, Roman, and Zoe is $7.59. I have to go back and do the same thing for Gaia, Emily, and Andre. So they bought a taco and an ice cream. Let's go back. Let's see how much a taco and an ice cream is. A taco looks like that is $2.39, and an ice cream is $1.62. All right, so I'm going to go back to the page that I'm on, which is right here. A taco costs $2.39. So I already see that a taco is quite a bit more than a hot dog. That's interesting. And an ice cream costs $1.62. So now I have to do this addition. 9 plus 2, that's 11. Carry the 1 up here. 1 plus 3, that's 4. 4 plus 6, that's 10. I'm going to put the 0 down below. I'm going to mark the 1 up top and carry down the decimal point. 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 plus 1 is 4. Remember that these are dollar signs. Now this $4.01 is for one person. So I need to take this $4.01 and multiply it by 3 because we have Gaia, Emily, and Andre who are all ordering it. So for 3 people, this one order for 3 people. Okay, so multiply it by 3. Now, 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 0 is 0. Put your decimal place here. 3 times 4 is 12. So the total for the second group is 1203, and the total for the first group is 759. I'm going to highlight that so it's sort of easier for all of us to see. Now, again, let's go back and ask, what is the question that's being asked? How much money did they spend altogether? So all 6 of the people, what I have to do next is add up everything together, all of these totals. What I recommend for you to do is use the bigger number up top. So let me get here. I have $12.03, and I'm going to add that to $7.59. I'm going to put the bar right here. All I have to do is add this. So 3 plus 9, that's 12. I put the 1 up top here. Carry the 2 down below. 1 plus 0 is 1. 1 plus 5 is 6. All right. Carry down my decimal place here. 7 plus 2, that's 9. Carry the 1 down. That's $19.62. Do not forget to write down what exactly this is. This is $19.62. All right. And it is spent all together. And that is it. Let's just check the answers I have written down, make sure I did this all right and okay. 759, got it. Okay, next one. 1203, that's what we got. And what did they spend all together? 1962. Woo, that was a long problem, but hey, that's what multiple step problems are. Break them down step by step. Don't try to do it at all in one step, and definitely write everything down. As you can see, it takes a while, but that's how you get the right answer, step by step. All right. All right, everyone, welcome to our last question. I'm going to read the whole thing out loud. All right, everyone, welcome to our last question. What I like to do is read the entire question out loud so that I better understand really what's going on here. Samantha had $15.50 in her purse. She wanted to treat her friends to lunch. That's very nice of her. Amanda wanted a deluxe burger and fries. Gina wanted a regular hamburger and fries. Raphael wanted a taco and a hot dog. Samantha planned to buy a hamburger and a milkshake. Does Samantha have enough money to treat everyone? So first, I realize that there's going to be multiple steps to this problem, and what I need to do is understand what I have so that we can then add up what all of Samantha's friends want to make sure that we have enough money, or see if we do have enough money. So I first know that Samantha has a total of $15.50. And then I know that there's Amanda, there's Gina, there's Raphael, and then there's Samantha herself. So that means that there is a total of 4 people who Samantha wants to pay for, one of them being herself, and she has $15.50. How much she has and if that's going to be enough. So let's do the first step. So that is going to be Amanda, and I'm going to put hers right here. I'll draw a little A right here. And it says that what Amanda wants is a deluxe burger, so a big one, and fries. So I know that from the table that we've been looking at before, a deluxe burger costs $3.91. Plus she wants fries. Fries are $1.13. So what you need to do is make sure that you align up the decimal points, the cents, and the dollars so that you can get Amanda's total. 1 plus 3 is 4. 9 plus 1 is 10. I put the 0 here, carry the 1 up there, drop the decimal point down here. 1 plus 3 is 4. 4 plus 1 is 5. Make sure to label that dollar. So right here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a new tool in order to highlight how much Amanda's total is, which is right here. So Amanda costs $5.04. The lunch that she wants costs $5.04. Now, I'm going to change my tool, grab a new color, and then let's figure out what Gina wants to eat. So Gina has a regular hamburger. Notice how I like to underline the information. Has a regular hamburger and fries, so almost the same as Amanda, just a normal size hamburger. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to write a little G right here for Gina. And I know that the normal hamburger, regular hamburger, costs $2.19. Remember, I'm getting this information from the table a couple pages back. $2.19 plus the fries, again, that's $1.13. Now let's figure out what the total for Gina is. Remember, again, my decimals are lined up, my dollars and my cents are lined up. Now let's do the addition. 9 plus 3 is 12. I write the 1 up top. I write the 2 down below. 1 plus 1 plus 1, that's 3. Put a 3 down below. Carry the decimal place here. And then 2 plus 1 is 3. Again, I'm going to write my dollar sign. And then I'm going to grab a different tool so that I can highlight this. Now, although you might not be highlighting like I am on my computer, what you can do is you can actually take a highlighter and use a real highlighter on your paper so that you can also spotlight or highlight the information that's most important for you, okay? Now, what we're gonna do here is add up Raphael's total. Raphael wanted a taco and a hot dog. All right, so we know that a taco costs $2.39, so I'm gonna start here. I'm gonna grab another new color. Let's do red for Raphael, and we've got an R for Raphael, all right? And a taco costs $2.39. And I'm gonna add that to the hot dog that Raphael also wishes to have, which is $1.25. 28 cents. Remember, I'm getting all this information from the table a couple pages back. 9 plus 8, that's 17. I put the 1 up top. I put the 7 down below. 1 plus 3 is 4. 4 plus 2 is 6. Carry that decimal place down. Place it down right here. 2 plus 1 is 3. Again, write your dollar sign. And if it helps you, it helps me. Highlight the total so that you know the number that you're going to have to look at later. So I'm going to highlight this right here. And then the last person who I'm going to check what she wants, that's Samantha. She's the one who's paying. She wants to buy a hamburger. I'm guessing that's a regular hamburger and a milkshake. So those two things combined. Let me grab a fourth color. Let's do brown for this one. And Samantha wanted the hamburger, which again costs $2.19. $2.19. So I'm going to write that here. And then I'm going to add it to the milkshake that she wants. Milkshakes cost $2.42. So I'm going to write $2.42, making and paying special attention of lining up all the numbers. Now everyone, just to be clear, I've been saying line up all the numbers, but what I mean by that, just so we're all on the same page here, so know that I'm lining this up, these numbers up, and then I'm lining these numbers up, and then I'm lining this decimal up, and it gets a little bit messy when I do this, but just know that you have to line up those columns. So I'm just going to backspace out of that so it gets a little cleaner again. I'm going to grab my writing tool and continue to write. So let's add these up. 9 plus 2, that's 11. I'm going to put 1 down here. I'm going to put the second one up here. 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 plus 4 is 6. Put that down. Carry the decimal point down here. 2 plus 2 is 4. Write my label of dollars. Take my highlighter and highlight Samantha's total of $4.61. So what I sort of like to do, I like to have a look at like who cost the most and sort of just do a little like comparison in my head. I see that Amanda's order that costed the most, that's $5.04. And then Gina's order cost the least, that's $3.32. And then we sort of had these other two answers. And what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to add up all of those together. So we'll take this away because we're making it a little smaller to give me some more space. And again, I need to now add up the totals. So again, I recommend that you start with the biggest number at the top, which is $5.04. You're going to add that to $3.32, which is Gina's. And then Raphael's, that's $3.67. And then last but not least, Samantha's order of $4.61. I'm going to draw this line here and put an additional sign here. And I'm going to do 4 plus 2, that's 6. 6 plus 7, that's 13. Add 1, that's 14. I'm going to put the 4 down here, make that a little bit nicer over 4. Put the 1 up here. 1 plus 0 is 1, plus 1 plus 3 is 4. 4 plus 6 is 10, and 10 plus 6 is 16. I'm going to put the 6 here, carry the decimal point down below, and write the 1 up top. 1 plus 5 is 6. 6 plus 3 is 9. 9 plus 3 is 12. And 12 plus 4 is 16. Do not forget your dollar sign. Check back and see what the question again is asking. So what I'm going to do here is take my highlighter. All right, so the question says, does Samantha have enough money to treat everyone? So everyone, look here, I got an answer, although I didn't yet really answer the question, right? So I have $16.64. What is that? That is the total of the 4 friends amount of money that is needed to buy all the things that they want. However, does Samantha have $16.64? No. How much does she have? She has $15.50. So what we're going to be looking for is that you write your answer. So does Samantha have enough money to treat everyone? Remember, make sure that your answer is in complete sentence. No, comma, Samantha does not have enough money to treat everyone. You could go a little bit further and you could say something like, she has $15.50, but the meal for all 4 friends costs $16.64. And that, boys and girls, is your complete answer for all of this. I hope that was super helpful. Remember, highlighting things really is a great skill and tool to use in order so that you can create these multi-step problems in a way that I just did too. I hope this helped everyone. That is it for now. See you next time.